my friend. Hear me today. Nothing in your life will change until you confront what you are afraid to release. You can pray for new doors, cry for new seasons, and hope for new breakthroughs. But if your hands are full of what God has already told you to let go, you will stay exactly where you are. I want you to listen to me with your spirit, not just your ears, because this is a word that demands a response. God said, let go now or stay stuck forever. The choice is yours. The future is yours. The consequences are yours. Heaven will not force you to grow. Heaven invites you. But growth requires surrender, and destiny requires separation. You woke up this morning with questions weighing on your soul, questions about direction, questions about relationships, questions about finances, questions about purpose. You woke up sensing that something has to shift, that something cannot continue as it is. And this message is the confirmation you've been needing, because deep down, you already know that God has been nudging you, stirring you, unsettling you, whispering to your heart that you cannot carry old weight into a new season. You know God has already shown you the habit, the mindset, the person, the environment, the attitude, or the emotional attachment that is blocking your progress. You know it, and yet you've clung to it because letting go is painful, uncertain, and uncomfortable. But hear this clearly, nothing is more dangerous than refusing to release what God is removing. Sometimes the worst prison is the one we choose to stay in. We say we want change, but we cling to familiarity. We ask for breakthrough, but we protect what God is trying to break off. We pray for the future, but we still holding the hand of the past. And this morning, heaven is confronting that contradiction in you, not to condemn you, but to liberate you. Let me speak to you the way truth speaks. You cannot be who you're becoming while holding on to who you were. Purpose demands evolution. Calling requires transformation. Destiny requires obedience. And obedience often requires the courage to walk away from the familiar. Some of you are stuck because you refuse to let go of people who no longer honor your growth. Some of you are stuck because you attach to a lifestyle that contradicts the future you're praying for. Some of you are stuck because you're emotionally tied to environments that no longer nurture your spirit. Some of you are stuck because you're clinging to a mindset that was shaped by fear, trauma, scarcity, or insecurity, and you've repeated those thoughts for so long that you think they're truth, but they're not truth, they're chains. And God is saying, let go. Let go before this becomes permanent. Let go before this becomes your identity. Let go before this delay becomes a destiny you never wanted. Let go before the weight you are carrying breaks you. Letting go is not abandonment. It is alignment. Letting go is not giving up. It is growing up. Letting go is not loss. It is liberation. And every time God asks you to release something, it is because He is preparing to replace it with something better. But replacement never comes before release. You want the next chapter, but you're still reading the last one. You want the open door, but you're still staring at the closed one. You want the blessing, but you haven't made room for it. You want the new wine, but you're holding old wineskins. Nothing new can survive in an old structure. Nothing fresh can flourish in stale space. And nothing destined can develop where disobedience is present. So God confronts you early in the morning while your spirit is still tender, saying, choose, let go now, or stay stuck forever. I know letting go hurts. I know it stretches the soul. I know it demands trust beyond understanding. I know it forces you to confront fear, loneliness, uncertainty, and the unknown. But everything great in life is born out of the unknown. Everything powerful is discovered on the other side of fear. Everything purposeful requires the courage to step away from what has expired. Some of you are staying connected to things God already called dead. Let me tell you something. When God shuts something down, resurrection is not your assignment. Some doors are closed permanently because they are beneath your calling. Some relationships end because you outgrew their purpose. Some opportunities disappear because they were never designed for where you're going. And some seasons collapse because God has graduated you, whether you feel ready or not. The problem is that we try to keep alive what heaven has killed. We try to breathe into situations where God has withdrawn his breath. And then we wonder why we feel drained, is stuck, stagnant, anxious, frustrated, and spiritually suffocated. You cannot carry dead weight into divine destiny. Let me say this with love but with authority. If you don't release what's hurting you, it will eventually define you. If you don't walk away from what's limiting you, it will eventually shrink you. If you don't choose growth, life will choose stagnation for you. And stagnation is the silent assassin of purpose. Some of you think your life is under attack, but it's not attack, it's attachment to what God is removing. You're fighting battles that are not enemies. They are consequences of refusing to let go. You're wrestling with frustration because you're resisting transition. You're overwhelmed because you're out of alignment. You're exhausted because you're holding on to something that requires more energy to maintain than it does to release. But this morning, you are being empowered to release it. You are being strengthened to walk away. You are being reminded that your future is more important than your comfort. And this is where you must confront your fear of loss. Many people stay stuck not because the past is good, but because it's familiar. The unknown feels threatening. The future feels unpredictable. The idea of starting over feels overwhelming. But destiny rarely comes wrapped in comfort. God rarely calls you into the familiar. Faith is never required for what you already understand. When God says, let go, he is not calling you into emptiness. He is calling you into expansion. He is not leading you into isolation. He is leading you into transformation. But he cannot multiply what you refuse to release. Look at the pattern. Abraham had to leave his country before God revealed the promise. Ruth had to walk away from Moab before stepping into destiny. Peter had to drop the nets before becoming a fisher of men. Every person God uses significantly must prove one thing: they do not idolize what he is trying to change. Idolatry is not always a golden statue. Sometimes idolatry is a relationship, a routine, a title, a habit, or an identity we refuse to surrender even when God is clearly moving us forward. So this morning, release the idol. Let go of what keeps you small. Let go of what keeps you afraid. Let go of what keeps you emotionally dependent. Let go of what keeps you repeating the same cycles year after year. Cycles break when courage begins. Let me speak to your mind, because some of you are wrestling more internally than externally. You're fighting memories, patterns, and emotional attachments that feel stronger than your will. You're battling thoughts that tell you it's safer to stay where you are. But safety is not the same as destiny. Comfort is not the same as calling. Familiarity is not the same as purpose. The enemy of your future is rarely obvious. The greatest threat to your next season is often the comfort of your current one. You must be willing to disappoint your past to embrace your future. You must be willing to break your own patterns to become your best self. You must be willing to choose purpose over preferences, conviction over convenience, vision over validation. Some of you are trying to carry old friends into new seasons, and God is saying they cannot go, not because they're bad, but because they are not assigned to where you're going. Some people are placed in your life for a chapter, not the whole book. When their season is over, forcing them to stay only creates dysfunction. You must discern the difference between loyalty and limitation. Some of you are clinging to disappointments from years ago, using them as excuses to avoid obedience. Now, that pain has become a comfort zone. That disappointment has become a shield you use to justify stagnation. But you cannot heal from what you keep rehearsing. You cannot conquer what you keep cuddling. You cannot outgrow what you continue to internalize. Let it go. Not for them, for you. For your mind. For your peace. For your health. For your growth. For your future children. For your legacy. For your destiny. Let me speak to the dream inside you, the one that has been suffocated by overthinking, fear, and what ifs. You've been delaying action because you're waiting for perfect conditions. But perfect conditions never come. Purpose is built on obedience, not convenience. You don't move when you feel ready. You move when God says move. And sometimes God says move by shutting a door. Sometimes God says move by drying up a resource. Sometimes God says move by removing people. Sometimes God says move by making you uncomfortable where you are. That discomfort you feel is divine. That restlessness is revelation. That frustration is spiritual alertness, telling you you don't belong here anymore. You have outgrown some environments mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, but you're still physically present in them. And that misalignment is draining your energy, your creativity, your joy, and your clarity. You must release what no longer matches your identity. Your identity is evolving. Your calling is expanding. Your spirit is maturing. But your surroundings may still reflect the old version of you. And if you do not intentionally let go of what reflects the past, you will sabotage the future. Let go of the mindset that says you're not enough. Let go of the fear that says you won't survive without them. Let go of the insecurity that tells you to shrink. Let go of the bitterness that keeps you replaying old wounds. Let go of the scarcity mentality that stops you from dreaming. Let go of the excuses that keep you from becoming. You were not created to be stuck. You were created to move, to grow, to advance, to flourish. Stagnation contradicts your design. You are made in the image of a God who moves, creates, expands, speaks, builds, and transforms. And you carry that same nature. So why stay stuck in what God is calling you out of? Hear this. Every time God calls you to let go, He has already prepared something better. The replacement is waiting for your release. The promotion is waiting for your obedience. The healing is waiting for your surrender. The breakthrough is waiting for your decision. The clarity is waiting for your alignment. God is not withholding the blessing. He is waiting for you to make room for it. You cannot pour new purpose into old habits. You cannot place new dreams inside old fears. You cannot carry destiny with the same weight that once kept you trapped. Letting go is not optional anymore. It is critical. This is why God confronts you this morning. Not to scare you, but to awaken you, not to pressure you, but to prepare you, not to condemn you, but to call you forward. You have stayed in this place long enough. You have repeated this cycle long enough. You have entertained this distraction long enough. You have tolerated this limitation long enough. Let go now or stay stuck forever. And forever is too long to be trapped in something God never intended for you. So today, I speak strength to your spirit. I speak courage into your soul. I speak clarity over your mind. You will not be bound by fear. You will not be controlled by insecurity. You will not be manipulated by the familiar. You will not stay loyal to what is destroying you. You will not choose comfort over calling. You will not shrink to fit the expectations of others. You will release what God has removed. You will walk away from what God has closed. You will stop resurrecting what God has buried. You will step into the unknown with confidence. You will trust the God who holds your future more than the environment that holds your past. And yes, it will hurt. Yes, it will feel unfamiliar. Yes, you will have moments of doubt. But pain is temporary. Purpose is eternal. And every sacrifice you make now will build the foundation of the future God designed for you. Letting go is not about what you lose. It's about what you gain. Peace, strength, alignment, calling, identity, freedom, purpose, clarity, stability, elevation, divine timing, divine relationships, divine opportunities. The greatest version of you is waiting on the other side of what you're afraid to release. So today is the day, not tomorrow, not next month, not when conditions are right. Today, heaven is calling you forward. Destiny is summoning you. Your future is knocking on the door of your obedience. Let go now or stay stuck forever. And you were never created to live stuck.